171, episode 171, since June 22nd, 2020. An unbelievable thing. We have done this live stream 171 times. We have in studio with us as a repeat person coming back, Etan G.
In the house, baby. In the house.
I'm even hearing my echo, so I'm going to turn down my reverb.
Yes.
Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
No, I still hear it. It's almost like you left the radio on, you know?
Well, you're not. You have to have headphones on.
That's true. I should have headphones on, but I don't.
That looks professional.
All right, G. Well, there's Judy Hertzfeld chirping in. She's
Right on time.
From watching in from Clifton, New Jersey. All right. So how's the G doing in L.A.?
Rocking and rolling, baby. The weather's great. Living large.
Well, the weather here in Israel is cold. It is the winter season. It is the rainy months of Shvat and Adar. And the most interesting thing about Shvat and Adar is that there are 6 seasons. Most people think there are 4 seasons, G, but there are really 6 2-month seasons. Did you know that?
Okay. I did not. Go ahead.
So this rainy season starts from Tu B'Shvat till Tu B'Nisan. Now the only thing is we have 3 months of rainy season this year. So I wonder if it's going to rain for 3 months. But we'll have to wait and see. Only God knows.
Only God knows.
And the
God
meteorologists.
only knows what.
And the meteorologists, G. The meteorologists seem to know everything.
They don't know anything.
I know. Now listen, Benjamin Gutfreund is saying hello to us. Ben, it's good to see you. Thanks for watching here at Lenny Solomon Live. All right, G, let's get down to business. You know, COVID came, knocked us out, but not down, because we will never be knocked down, right?
We don't get knocked down. We always get up again.
That's right. I think that's a song, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We schlocked it.
We did schlag it. I sit right down, say Kriyat Shema, then I get up and do the Amidah. Okay, so G, tell us. So look, obviously, COVID did take Schlock Rock off the road for 2 years, but we came back with a vengeance over.
Excuse me, Lenny. Even though it took us off the road, we still created, we still built, we still experienced, and we still lived.
Yes, we did. 171 shows, lots of different songs that came out.
Yeah.
You released a song just recently.
And I released a whole bunch of stuff that I found in the vault.
Oh, yes, the vault. And you could see all of that on YouTube, on the Schlock Rock YouTube channel.
For sure. There are some DJ remixes of my solo stuff I forgot about. Remember, when you're cleaning up, COVID gave us time to clean up. It gave us time to go through old crap, get rid of stuff, kind of come out of this refreshed and clean. And going through all these external hard drives, I found a whole bunch of stuff that I forgot I had. And I released them.
Yes. You did. You went through the vaults, the archives. You found stuff that I can't even believe we taped.
It was great stuff. It's great stuff.
Was it better than the Get Back 7.5 hour thing from about the Beatles?
That was fantastic.
That wasn't it?
It's fantastic.
But
what was amazing, what you got to see was the dynamic between 4 guys going through the creative process. As listeners, we get the album, we listen to it, and oh my God, those are great songs. But when you watch the process and you see how hard they worked and toiled and created and played off each other to create this great music, in a lot of ways, it's a lot like what we do. We never do any show the same way.
It's very interesting, yes. And I remember my early years when I would meet with the band. We would be in the studio, and we would have the music in front of us, and the drummer would put in his input, the bass player would put in his input, guitar player would put in his input, I would put in my input from the piano, and we worked out the song and then recorded it. And that's what we're getting to watch with this Beatles thing.
Right. It's fantastic. It's worth the
And
watch if you're interested in creativity, how these
yeah,
things work.
it's 100% worth. So we're gonna discuss two main things today. The first thing is your Rock for Israel. You have a not-for-profit organization called Rock for Israel.
I do a 501c3 called Rock for Israel.
Yes, and I want you to tell the audience a little bit about what it is and what you're in the process of trying to raise money for, and then how they can get a hold of you if they would like to donate to the cause, support the cause, partner with you.
For sure, for sure. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you for making that introduction. As you know, there is a organization called Comedy for Kobe, a great organization that started in the mid 2000s, right around the Lebanon War, and the people of Israel were down. They were just down, and a friend of mine started bringing comedians to Israel to do shows, to make people laugh, to get in the groove. And it has been going for years and years. It's still going, and they still do it, and it's been fantastic. For me, Lenny, I've toured with you all over. I've had an illustrious solo career and in the regular music business. And I wanted to bring rock musicians to Israel. I find that so many aren't don't know much about Israel. They just see what they see on the news. And so the whole point of it is to bring them, for them to experience Israel, to do a few shows in Israel, meet the people, eat the food, see the hot chicks in army uniforms with guns. That's rock and roll, Lenny. That's what we do.
Well, okay. And it's very, very good. Yes, Judy she says Avi Lieberman. Yes,
That
Avi
is
Lieberman
absolutely right. He
does,
started that great idea.
and he works with Roy Angstreich or Ruven Angstreich, which is the the Kobe Mandel Foundation. And
Exactly.
they
And
they have
the kicker, Lenny, is as follows: is that you have a lot of bands that perform in Israel, the groups. I bring the individual pieces of groups, the guitar player from this band, the drummer from that band, the bass player from that band, put them together like a super group. Let's go to Israel and see. So that way, after they've had their experience in Israel, and they go back on tour or in the recording studio or whatever they're doing, and they're asked, hey, what did you do during the break? Oh man, we went to Israel, but apartheid. Bro, we didn't see any apartheid, and we were all over the place. It's like that.
right. And it's a great thing because what it is really is you are a positive PR machine for Israel.
Yes, exactly. And when you have entities like the Ministry of Tourism that pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for influencers, if you will. For example, they paid Demi Lovato several $100,000 to come to Israel. She was supposed to take a few pictures, and she comes back to America, and that's that. And she got beaten up on the internet over it, and you never heard from her again. It didn't change her life. It was kind of just a paid gig almost. She just had to post a couple pictures. This is an experience that lasts with a musician for the lifetime, and it spreads, the positiveness spreads to all the people that they work with in all industries.
Right. It's actually it's a brilliant idea, and you're not getting the stars necessarily. Like you're not going to get the Sting to come, although I'm
No,
sure you
but you
love.
may get the guitar player from Sting's band. You may
Right.
get the bass player from Heart. You may get the drummer from Ace Frehley, things like that.
Wow. I think that's it's amazing. Okay, so what do you need to raise? You need to raise approximately I think 20 G or so for the next
Uh,
trip to happen.
right. So each tour is budgeted about $50,000. I've raised about 25, 30 thus far, need to raise another 20. Anybody can text to donate. They can go to rockforisrael.org with the number 4. They
Right.
can donate. There's a million places. All the social medias, Rock for Israel.
Let me see if I could put a caption so they can see the website. It's ROCK the number 4 Israel. Is it .com or .org?
You tell me, Lenny, what do you think?
I'm going to say it's .org because it's a not
That
for
is
profit.
correct. That's exactly right. Thank
All
you.
right, let's add that and let's see. Here we go. rockforisrael.org at my lower right on the screen now. So for anybody out there that wants to participate in this amazing concept, which Etan G, I must say, you thought about it all on your own.
Lenny, I love rock and roll. I love music, and touring with you all these years has shown me that how influential, how much of an impact, more than any other art form in the world, music not only brings people together, it changes moods, it can present education that we've done, experience, and it's shared by the world.
That is amazing. Now you've even had conversations with people like Gene Simmons. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
You
you have.
absolutely are. He gave me a call this summer. I only found out later how he got my number and found out about me. And we spoke, and it was great talking to Gene. Hello, this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And we spoke for maybe 15, 20 minutes. I was on the road, and it was great.
And he is interested in potentially getting involved in a future
At some
trip.
point, he left the door open for that to happen. Absolutely. He gave me his contact info, and when the time is right, I will reach out to him to do that.
Now, what about Paul Schaefer? Somebody like him, would he be interested in something like this?
So not only is he interested, as you know, he produced one of the songs on my second album, and we remain very good friends to this day. But Paul Schaefer has not been to Israel. I asked him. He says, I've never been.
I can't believe that.
I'm telling you.
So that to me is a shockaroo, isn't it?
It is a huge shockaroo. So I'm hopeful to get the first. We were supposed to have a tour in August 2020. Obviously, COVID took a crap on that. So now we're hoping to get something in now 2022 that Israel's starting to open up again.
Fabulous. All right, so rockforisrael.org, everybody out there. Etan G, of course, is the CEO, the executive director of this not-for-profit organization, and doing amazing things in projecting positive Jewish messages of Jewish pride, Jewish identity, Jewish awareness, and of course promoting the state of Israel, the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, and Medinat Eretz Yisrael. Everything. Medinat Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael. It's the best.
Lenny, it's even more subdued than that. There's no agenda for these guys to do any of that. All I want to do is let them land in the state of Israel, and the land of Israel will work its magic, and they will see the truth that they've been deceived by mainstream media on what Israel is. I will take them to Arab territories. I will take them everywhere I'm allowed to go as a Jew, and they will see, and they will understand the history, the politics. It will be an experience for them. I don't want to sway them either way. I want them to see for themselves.
Now that COVID is dying down, hopefully in the next month or two, we hope. When do you expect that first tour to happen? Are you hoping for this summer?
I am hoping for this summer. Really, Excellent. It boils down to when we raise the money and when Israel starts letting people in without restrictions.
Which I think is not that far away because everybody has gotten COVID here.
Correct. Right.
So many people have gotten COVID. You know, you'd think this is the land of the vaccine, and it just, you know. Well, we'll like just to say that the vaccine prevented, worse things from happening. I mean, that's the best thing we can say about it. The worst thing we could say is that it didn't work at all.
I'm not macabre. I don't know what it did or didn't do.
In other words, we're not going political on this. One of the things that I pride myself on as the head of Schlockrock is we do not make political statements, right?
We do not. And COVID is just such a negative topic at this point. It's divisive. We are unifiers, my friend. We are unifiers.
Yes, we are. Okay, so now let's get back. Let me just see if anybody's been commenting.
We can talk. The people are the audience. No one talks to David Letterman in the audience.
Yes,
Letterman talks
to
his guests.
The power of the internet, G. The power of the live stream is that we can interact with our audience.
Well, then let me ask you, how much time do we have?
Well, we have another 15 minutes or so, and I want to get to. We have an agenda, and I would like to get to the next thing, which is today I launched Daniel in Babylon Theatrical Livestream GoFundMe 60-day campaign to raise $550,000.
You should know, Lenny, I'm really excited about not only the GoFundMe that you have, but the movie itself. You and I have talked about it over the years, and I've watched it grow from a simple idea and blossom into the flower that it is. And I really look forward to it just spreading the story of Daniel in Babylon. I find that so many people don't know the story of Daniel. You've
No.
heard it.
Yep.
Kids in Jewish day schools don't know enough about Tanakh of the prophets, and they don't know the stories. Maybe they know Joshua, maybe they know Samuel. That's about it.
It's true. You know, it's a funny thing, but the Jewish schools don't teach Daniel, and I'm not really sure why. Probably because it's the last book. Let's call it the last book in Tanakh, hidden behind, hidden behind. What's it called? The five Megillot, the five Megillas, Megillat Esther, Shir Hashirim, Ruth, Kohelet, which is Ecclesiastes, and Eicha. It's hidden behind Chronicles, Divrei Yamin, hidden behind Proverbs, which is Mishlei, and then finally you got the book of Daniel with Ezra and Nehemiah. Those three books.
Lenny, it's fantastic. And one of the things I love when I come to Israel is that, and hopefully live in Israel real soon, is that all the places, all the names, all the history that you learn in Tanakh is there for you to see. You could see where it was. You could step on the ground. It becomes real. As much as I love Gemara, I love Navi, the prophets, so much more because they're real people,
I
real
know.
stories, and it's real life.
I remember 1985 when I went on ISS, Israel Summer Seminar for NCSY, and I remember they saying, "Well, this is where David and Goliath fought," and I said, "What?" I said, "You
The
can't."
Elah Valley. It's right by your house.
Right? It's unbelievable. You see the history before your eyes. You get inspired. You write songs because of it. You write poetry. You write everything. You can write books, right? So, um, you know that's number one. So the Daniel thing is that people haven't really learned the story of Daniel. Also, the reason they haven't learned it is because it's 12 chapters, but chapters 7 through 12 are his visions. Nobody really knows what those visions mean. Everybody has got their take on it, but nobody knows what the visions mean. The only thing that everybody agrees on is that it's going to happen at the end of days. Now, in my story is about the life of Daniel. In it, of course, is the famous story about the handwriting on the wall, the fiery furnace, and of course, Daniel in the lion's den. We don't get into the visions because there's no way I could even do it justice. We got to wait for it to happen. And I believe that we are the generation that is going to witness these visions coming true, Mashiach, and all these great things happening. We are the generation, and we will one day know what those visions of Daniel meant.
Well, now that they've legalized marijuana in most states in America,
No,
a lot of these visions will come to fruition.
now, gee, what is marijuana? You take things to a totally different place.
I'm just
Here I am
saying.
talking spirituality, and you're going. Well, now that they've
You
legalized
know,
marijuana.
Lenny, don't dismiss a whole swath of humanity that utilizes marijuana to obtain a certain level of spirituality.
Yes, but the truth of the matter is that I actually know people that are in the marijuana business, in the medical marijuana business, and the legal marijuana business, not in the illegal business. But it doesn't really affect me because my philosophy on all of that stuff is that I would never take something that could potentially hurt my hard drive. My hard drive meaning my brain. So I have never actually, as a musician, people can't believe this, but I have never actually taken marijuana. I've never smoked marijuana. I've never or and booze too. I don't do booze. I don't do cigarettes, and I don't do. So what do I? What do I? What are my vices? Well, we could.
The
You could.
Lord. You love the Lord. And if loving the Lord is wrong, I know you don't want to be right. Lenny, I'm
Yes.
much the same as you in that I don't need external substances to get high. I get high on life. I get high on the Lord. I get high on the music. I get high on friends and family. That
Right.
elevates me. That jacks me up. That's what does it for me.
It's unbelievable. Now, listen, let me just do a quick little bit of paperwork and then we'll get back to the Daniel and Babylon campaign, which we have to tell people about. And here's the scoop. First thing is, if you're watching, this thing is going out to 8 channels, 4 Facebook pages. That would be Lenny Solomon English, Lenny Solomon Hebrew, Schlock Rock page, Four Corners Project page. It's also going out to 2 YouTube channels, the Schlock Rock channel and the Four Corners Project channel. It's also going out to the Twitter account at Lenny Solomon, and it's also going out to the LinkedIn account, Lenny Solomon. So we have 8 channels that it's going out to. If you're watching from any of those channels, make sure, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you subscribe, leave us thumbs up, leave us good comments. We like to see good comments. We don't like to see bad comments, but that's part of the biz too sometimes, right, G?
I don't mind bad comments. Sometimes you learn something, sometimes they're stupid. And it's fortunate because then you appreciate the good comments and the great fans much more.
Right. Now, the what you also want to do is you want to go to fourcornersproject.org. You want to make a donation for the year. Although this seems to be the show that we're hitting everybody up. Rock4Israel.org, fourcornersproject.org. Let's get that Four Corners Project caption up for a second. There it
Of
is,
course.
www.fourcornersproject.org. And then also, we have to do the GoFundMe campaign. So for those of you that are interested, we need like this. I'm going to give you 2 options, G. And you're going to tell me which one you want.
Go ahead, bring it.
275 people should be in charge of $2,000 each. We have 60 days to accomplish this. So that if 275 people who are big fans of Schlock Rock, of Lenny Solomon, friends of Etan G, friends of Kesher going back to the old days,
Sure.
you know, if they want to be in charge of $2,000 to raise $2,000 from their friends, 275 people do that. We got 550 grand, and we go to work. And by the end of December 2022, we will release Daniel and Babylon, a theatrical live stream. Other option is if 15,277 fans give $36 each. That's also good. We know there are at least 250,000 fans out there that have grown up with Schlock Rock, that have grown up with Etan G, that have grown up with the band, that have grown up with Lenny Solomon's, that's myself, original music and parody music. And if you guys just give $36 each, boom, we got it. 15,000 fans. What do you think is more realistic?
I think just putting the message out there is what we got to do.
Right.
And if the people that believe in the message, believe in the project, both of our projects, they'll donate. People want to give to things that they believe in.
Correct.
It's that simple.
I agree.
You know?
So
we've said it all.
and we still got 7 minutes to go.
Fantastic. I love it.
So let's talk about our last tour. Our last tour, which was just this past December, we went and did 8 shows. We did see, where were we? We were in Rochester and Albany, right? Right, G?
That was cold, very cold, but great. Great to see people
also
again.
In Fair Lawn. We were in Manhattan.
That was a great show, Lenny. It was a very
the
impactful.
Manhattan show was a fabulous show.
Yeah.
Fabulous show. And then I did some other shows. I'm coming in now in February for 2 weeks, February 24th to March 9th. We don't have any shows yet, but this trip is not really a show trip, but I won't turn it down. And I'm actually thinking about coming to LA for 4 days to kind of look around the theaters for the theatrical live stream. So Andrew writes, sorry I missed you in Maryland. You didn't miss us in Maryland, Andrew, because that was the show that got canceled because of COVID. So we're hoping to reschedule, and it's just a Shabbaton. It's a Shabbaton in Rockville, Maryland on February 25th and 26th, if the people decide to go through with it, or they're still not comfortable in public. Some people are just not comfortable in public right now,
Totally fine, totally their option.
which is exactly what are you going to do? I mean, that's the way it is. We do what we have to do. Uh, as you who have traveled all 50 states, and
Oh,
myself
it's
who have
great.
traveled all 50 states, you want to tell the people about what you did the last 4 summers in terms of going to the all 50 states?
Well, Lenny, as you know, you and I have been on the road together for, we're talking what, 25 years already, since
Yes.
93, 94, 95. And I had always, through all our travels, particularly outside the East Coast, once we really got into the meat and potatoes of the country, you would drive and I'd be looking out the window, maybe listening to music. And I had always said to myself, I cannot wait to show all this to my children. It's a beautiful country, the land of America. And it just evolved the past few summers that we were able to hit all the states and see the country. A few summers ago, someone needed a car taken to the East Coast. I said, hey, can I throw my kids in there and we'll do a road trip? He said, sure. And we hit a whole bunch of states with no intention of doing all 50, just a nice road trip. And then the following summer, hey, let's look and see, let's hit some of these states, the Kentuckys, the Alabamas, those sorts of things. And then once we saw that it's plausible to actually go to all, COVID hits and we hit a whole bunch of states all over the country. And most recently, just a week or so ago, we hit the last two, Alaska and Hawaii. Now, as you know, Lenny, Schlockrock has been to all 50 states in the U.S.
Yeah, that's right. And Alaska was amazing. 1990, I was in Alaska. Hawaii was in 2013. It was really beautiful. You were in Maui. I was in Hawaii. I was in Honolulu. I passed by where they film Hawaii Five-0, the new series. But it was, whatever. Hawaii's unbelievable. It's like being in another country, isn't it? Don't you feel that?
Lenny, it was the only state I could wear my bathrobe everywhere. Supermarket, rental car places, hotels. And it's just me in my bathrobe walking around enjoying life.
Really?
It was fantastic. You can see some of the pictures on the Facebook.
I will take a look. And anybody else, you could also go to Facebook to the Etan G page and see his bathrobe pictures.
Everything, as you know, Lenny, all the social media is the Jewish rapper. Twitter, Insta, all that.
That's
stuff.
right. He is the Jewish rapper, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Jewish rapper. All right,
Always.
listen, usually we take the last segment and we talk about people that need a refuah shlema, that they need a clean bill of health. Do you have anybody that you want to mention, if you know their Hebrew name?
No one off the top of my head. No one off the top of my head. But something you could say a prayer, a tefillah to the Lord to heal all the people that do need it everywhere in the world, Jew, non-Jew, whatever. Set them all up. Tell the Lord, preach.
That's true. And that's what we have to do. And also there are people out there that need parnasah. They need income. And there are other people that need to find their soulmate, their shidduch. They want to find the shidduch. So everybody out there, we want to wish.
Don't rush into it, guys. Don't rush into it.
I'm not going to comment on that, Chief. But I want
Let's
to tell
take the health. Let's take the parnasa. All the people, all of humanity, all the people that need should have a blessing. That these things that God bestows upon them, these blessings of health, which is really the most important. The parnasa doesn't even matter if you don't have health. And then the parnasa.
But you want happiness, and you want happiness, and you also want to find a good soulmate, somebody who will be good for you.
Yeah, a companion, if you will.
Yes. Well,
money can't buy you love.
That's true. That's true. All you need is love, though. All you need.
That's all you need.
Love is Lenny, all you need.
I love you. I don't say that enough, but I do. I love you.
You're doing a Bob Saget now.
No, I really do.
I saw that Bob Saget.
I never saw it.
Passed away.
Did he say I love
You
you?
met Bob Saget, didn't you?
Many times. Not only did I meet him, but his mother was a Etan G fan. She knew my music, and every time I saw him, he would always tell me, "My mother loves your music," and he was a fan of mine too.
Well, he was a great guy. You could see he was a great guy. Nobody has a bad thing to say about that man. He really God took him back. They obviously needed him up in heaven.
Yeah, man, it's a whole VIP after party up there now with Prince and Michael Jackson and everybody's
What about
James
Meatloaf?
Brown.
Meatloaf is up there
Me,
with Jim
sure, sure.
Steinman. They both passed away in the same. Is it the same year? Didn't Jim Steinman pass away recently?
We lost so many great people the past, I don't know, 5 years.
Some
Crazy.
to COVID and some to other things.
You don't know.
We don't know how, but all we know is this: on Rosh Hashanah, on the Jewish New Year, God judges everybody, and you hope to be written into the book of life. That's what you want.
In truth, I believe that God loves everybody. God gets closer to you. The judging, I don't know, we say judgment. I'm not quite convinced that it's judgment as we think of it. I think
Well,
it's
we
a
hope it's
time.
judgment through mercy. We hope it's merciful judgment.
I
As
think
opposed to.
it's a sit down. It's a meeting with God, just you and God talking, sharing, going over the past misdeeds. What did we do wrong? What can we do better to it's like as you said, a shidduch, a match, a partner. You want to share with them. Lenny, you and I, when we're on the road, we share with each other what's going on in life. We reconnect and it
And
fosters
we
the
had many
relationship.
many discussions about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't
let's
see God as a judge, it's fire and brimstone. I know that's a very white Ashkenazic European way of thinking. I'm more of a God really just
Well,
wants a relationship with
you're a
us.
Svaradi deep down inside. You are a Sephardic Jew.
I'm a whole mess of goodness.
Now, as we have passed the 30-minute mark, let's recap, everybody. Let's recap. Here we
Go
go.
ahead. What do we do?
First thing, everybody out there, you want to be involved with rockforisrael.org. Make sure you go to rockforisrael.org, place a donation, and support the work of Etan G in bringing positive messages to of Israel to the rock stars who will be coming on tour with him. A great project it is. Next, if you want to go to the fourcornersproject.org, make a donation for the year and keep us going, because we will be doing 200 to 240 shows this in the first 2 years. It's 120 shows in year one. I'm not sure we're going to get to 120 in year two. It might be a little bit less. And then finally, our GoFundMe campaign for Daniel and Babylon, our 60-day campaign, launched today. Make sure you go to GoFundMe. I will place the link for the GoFundMe campaign in all of those 8 locations that you're watching this show, so you can go and check it out. And we want to make Daniel in Babylon a musical live stream. It's going to be amazing, and it will sweep the world. With God's help, it will sweep the world. Everybody out there, Etan G, want to say goodbye?
I'm with you, baby. We never truly say goodbye. We just say we'll see you later.
All right. Everybody out there, we will see you tomorrow night with a musical show as we continue our 60-day Adar, our double Adar, and we do lots of great, fun music. Keep on schlagging, everybody, on Lenny Solomon Live. We want to thank Etan G, and we will see you all tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Israel time, 1 p.m. L.A. time, 4 p.m. New York time, and all the other times in between. Keep on schlagging, and see you tomorrow.